This is very weird.
Only the sacred hold.
Did you get the letter?
No.
Is it nasty? Oh,
It's funny.
is it from somebody you know?
No.
But the spelling's correct, and I do give people credit for that nowadays.
You're not kidding?
Is it?
Read it here? No. They came in the mail?
I didn't get a letter. I didn't get a letter.
It's so weird.
I didn't get a letter.
Somebody asked if for a job.
It's somebody who wants, instead of sending people to jail, send them to college.
Oh, so.
But we gotta get rid of the college jobs. They're worthless.
I know, and they put their name at the bottom.
Oh, they want to make cash too, which means they want it under the table for taxes. Come on, this isn't this can't be for real.
Send back to your spouse and say, I'm reading your letter.
No, this was the ouch.
You can read it.
I got
wonder
it.
if that's an internal.
Oh no,
Yeah, no, I saw it.
that's not hate mail though. It's just
Mine's clearly.
Was it addressed?
My sons.
Look up this ad.
It was pretty strongly worded. Unsigned.
This address sounds awful familiar.
I can.
Is FundRock coming tonight, or?
She's coming. She might be a little bit late. She was at a dinner.
Okay. Working?
How was soup night? How was the fundraiser? I didn't even get the after soup.
I didn't either. I was looking for Ish Ahmed. I couldn't find him. That's why I left. I saw him go in. The soup.
Oh, I forgot that. Was that today?
Yeah.
I forgot the ribbon cutting at Dearborn. My daughter had a doctor's appointment.
Here's a good one for you. George Duraney
Where's the
calls me
smile?
saying, hey, can you help me with Goodfellas Bid Drive?
Grab
Come
it
on.
now
I said,
already?
by the way, notice the picture in the one. She said, oh yeah, that was your lady. It's like, you don't call me in time for me to make it.
So you get your picture on the paper,
But you didn't want my butt out in the cold. That's cool.
Did you get something?
I'm connecting to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, the fun car standing, oh, well, you don't stand on City Hall steps anymore. Do they take it inside
It's inside.
the atrium?
Yes.
And they stand up on the second floor probably and look down at everybody. Get a picture. I've done group shots.
It's not, but it doesn't feel good.
They usually do it on the second floor.
I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that.
So who are we, who's late, Mary or?
Mary's not coming. Dr. Mead?
Yes.
Dr. Mead?
What?
Fred was probably only a few minutes out.
You see, when you're an old man, you gotta speak up. Oh, she is not. Okay. Mary's
We've got it for her.
Let's fire up.
Cool.
We have to vote on it, so. Ready, folks? I'd like to call this meeting to order, the Henry Ford College Regular Board of Trustees meeting, November 19th, 2018, 7:04. First item, please.
Roll call, Hussein Berry, here. Fadwa Hamoud should be walking in any minute. Mary Lane will not be here today. Celia Nasser,
Here.
Mary Petchikoff.
Here.
James Thorpe.
Here.
Chair Michael Mead.
Here, next item, please.
Approval of minutes, recommended action. Move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees Audit Committee and Board of Trustees regular meeting on October 15, 2018.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved, it's been supported. Any items that need to be discussed on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of the minutes, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It's unanimous. Next item, please.
Recognition and acknowledgements.
Thank you, President Cavaluna, Chair Mead, and members of the board. My name is Alana Jones. I am a graduate of North Farmington High School and a freshman at Henry Ford College, majoring in business management. I recently completed my first season of participation on the men's golf team. It was a challenge playing from the men's tees, but after shooting scores of 84 and 80 early in the season, I realized I can compete with the men. I'm looking forward to completing the rest of the season this spring. I hope to play well enough to qualify for the NJCAA Women's Golf Championship and earn a golf scholarship to continue my education at a four-year institution after receiving my associate's degree.
Good.
Now I am pleased to read this month's HFC board acknowledgements. The first ever My Career Quest Southeast, an offshoot of the successful My Career Quest event created by the West Michigan Works Agency, will take place on November 28, 2018 at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. At this event, 10,000 high school students from the greater Metro Detroit region will be exposed to in-demand careers in the biggest growth industries in Michigan, including advanced manufacturing, construction, health sciences, and information technology. HFC will be presenting with DTE and Federal Mogul. On October 24th and November 7th, the Welcome Center held an admissions open house. Students receive assistance with applying to the college, next steps in the enrollment process, and a campus tour. Approximately 30 people attended the events. Dr. Hassan Namegi was elected president of the Michigan Engineering Colleges and Community College Association. This group of faculty from 2-year and 4-year colleges meet yearly to enhance opportunities for collaboration. Congratulations, Dr. Namegi. HFC Career Services Office held its 7th Annual Career Expo in the gym on October 18, 2018. The event started with a faculty employer mixer, and the doors opened for job seekers at 2:00 p.m. There were 100 plus employers in attendance and over 300 students, alumni, and members of the public in attendance. This was by far the largest career expo to date. Thank you.
Ms. Jones? Ms. Jones? How many other females did you see out there on the courses?
I'm the only one.
You're the only one?
Yes.
Good for you.
How's your term been?
Oh, it's been great.
Good.
I like it here. I love Henry Ford. It's a great school. A lot of great instructors. I love my instructors. I have a great time being on the golf team as well, especially playing with the men. Yeah, I like it.
Well, thanks for having the courage to address the Board of Trustees, and thanks for representing us on the golf course.
Thank you very much for having me.
Next item, please.
President's report.
Thank you, Trustee Barry. Trustees, I have some things I wanted to address about the college, but I think it's probably best I first address what I called our culture of democracy. when we had the Democracy Institute here at the college, I think maybe 3 weeks ago. And that culture is where we peaceably assemble and decide who will be our leaders in our community and what policies we'll adopt. This was the first time that I was a voter here in Dearborn. I took my children and my wife with me to our son's elementary school and voted, and it was an enjoyable process. And it was nice to see the real rainbow of diversity and people that took part in that. And of course, the outcome of our elections have consequences, and people compete for policies and positions, and some of those on this board are worthy of congratulations for the competition and the election victory. One of those is your colleague, Trustee Jim Thorpe. He was reelected, and we're happy to have him back on the board, and I congratulate you. One of our colleagues, Mary Lane, was reelected also. I believe she would not be in attendance tonight, but I know she cares about this board very much and will be with us for another 2 years. I did not see Roxanne McDonald tonight. Are you here, Roxanne? Roxanne was elected to join this board for the second time. She took an interim break, and she campaigned and asked for the voter support to join us, join you all on this board, and she also was reelected. So to Trustee Lane and future Trustee McDonald, they have my and the entire college's congratulations. We also had part of this college on the ballot, and that was a request by voters in our district to continue a millage that was 1 mil, and that was about 5% of our operating budget. The millage passed by a large margin, and I'd like to say a few things about the college, but before I do say that, I want to acknowledge some of the true champions for the college that had a large part in several parts of this election victory. The first person and group is John McDonald, who is the president of the local AFT. He's here, and I see one of his colleagues in front of him, actually a couple colleagues in front of him. He's the leader, so he sits behind you so he can watch you get on. As you know, Mr. McDonald has been the president of AFT for many decades, and his members and frankly, himself devoted a lot of time to the advocacy campaign and frankly, financial resources. Right ahead of him is Dr. Lynn Boza, who is the leader of the AFO here, and she and her members also were very generous in their time and resources to support the advocacy campaign. David Cunningham is here with Local 71, I think I saw, yes.
Yeah.
His members were out at the polls and helping, and I appreciate all the support that many staff members and faculty members from the college gave. And you may recall that I made a choice to promote someone from our college for about 6 years of service. Her reward was to be handed the idea of giving the information campaign for our college, and that is Dr. Lori Gonko, who is here and very ably stepped into the void left by the huge shoes that Becky Chadwick left, and Dr. Gonko, in my opinion and in the opinion of many people, carried herself off very admirably and represented our college very well in the information campaign. So to all those people who represented Henry Ford College in the most dignified and professional ways, I can't simply say clearly and loudly enough how thankful I am, and how thankful the staff at Henry Ford College is, and I do want to publicly acknowledge all of you, so thank you. The passage of the millage I see as the spokesperson of this college as an endorsement of what we're trying to do, but also a solemn duty to protect and honor what is important when the public endorses our operation. That is to look after the public finances of this institution, but also deliver a true community service. And I invite any member of this board to always feel comfortable to tell me when we are doing that well and when we're not doing it well. And of course, I also invite any member of the public, whether taxpayer or not, to tell us whether we are truly offering the public service that a vote like this demands. Staying on the bright side of things, I'd like to congratulate you all, trustees, for what you saw last week, which was my son's superintendent, Glenn Maleko, was nominated, I think secretly nominated, but then publicly acknowledged as the superintendent of the year. We have the third largest public school district in the state, and there are obviously many districts across our state, but we have simply the best superintendent, and that's ironically the superintendent for, by my count, about 1,400 Dearborn Public School students who attend Henry Ford College here. So it gives me great pride and frankly excitement that you all have selected Glenn Maleko to be your leader, my son and daughter's leader, and the #1 superintendent of the year. And I do see him. Go ahead and stand up, Dr. Maleko. Thank you, Dr. Maleko. Your partnership and friendship to me are frankly more than I can put a value on. And your nights here on Monday nights are valuable too.
Both ways.
It sure does. Trustees, I've often told you that I believe it's important for us to be transparent about the way we spend our money and transparent about our efforts to save money. And we've done a couple things just over the last month that I want to bring your attention to. We'll continue to do efforts in this nature, but the first is you have approved this, but we've now realized the savings associated with it. We obviously have a large contract for copying materials, or copying hardware on the campus, and we recently, I should say my colleagues in the purchasing department recently reviewed whether we should be changing contractors for that purpose, and they eventually did conclude that there was savings to be had in the change of copiers, and that resulted in an annual savings of $110,000. And Ms. Demetrio just got her new copier. She says it works very well. In fact, I printed out some pictures recently of students that...
It's of things, okay, it's of things we can show.
Yes, things we can show. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is an item that's in your agenda, and Mr. Chairman, I can wait until you pick this up, but it bears worth reporting on the college savings efforts, and that is the supplemental action item, which is Board Report 4470. Mr. Chairman, if you'd like me to address that now, I can, or I can wait.
We'll certainly do that.
Okay, so colleagues, you'll see that report number 4470 is a contract award that we're asking you all to consider regarding network server upgrades. And the reason I bring your attention to this is twofold. One, it's saving us money, but two, it's a little bit of a non-standard method for which we would spend this amount of money. And the reason why it's non-standard is that we usually would conduct an open bid process that is more lengthy in time. However, my colleagues in the IT department and the purchasing department elected to move forward with this with sealed bids over a smaller amount of time than is typical. And here are the reasons. As you know, that our national government has been debating and thinking about the way we price and tax imports from countries outside of our borders. And these materials, I believe, Mr. Sadkowski, are they from China? I believe, so these servers and some of the attendant components come from China, which currently faces a 10% tariff that will change near the beginning of the new year to 25%. These are not inexpensive items, and we believe that we can save anywhere from $28,000 to $40,000 by reviewing the 4 bids I see here now and acting on them now before the new year comes, and frankly before the next board meeting. So when it does come to the time in the agenda where you all review this, I hope you understand why I'm bringing this to you. I'm bringing it to you on short notice, but I do believe it's a valuable decision to make now. If we do make it, we'll save up to $40,000, and I do trust and I do support the quick work that we've done to secure bids in that fashion. I talked about elections, and I talked about awards, and on a sad note, I would like to publicly note that we'll be losing one of our colleagues on the trustee. Not to, it sounded a little more morbid than I wanted to. One of your trustees will not be serving with you all after today, and I wanted to publicly acknowledge her service and thank her for the time she devoted to the board. Trustee Nasser joined the board a little over a year and a half ago and has served with dignity in class, and she has been helpful to staff that needed her support and helpful to me in transitioning to the community. Trustee Nasser, I appreciate your time and your effort, and I appreciate your service to our community. Mr. Chairman, I have a few retirements I'd like to acknowledge. I don't think any of these employees are here with us tonight, but their service still is worth me making public mention of. One is John Carroll. I think, Mr. Chairman, you know him well. He's a counselor, and he's been here a very short time. He left after 39 and a half years. I can't imagine how many lives he's changed during those years, but I do know that he has made an indelible mark on me in my short time by having met with him and talked with him and learned about his love of travel and love of students.
I'd like to add that the one thing that John did very well was to help students reduce their anxiety levels, particularly the students in the health programs and specifically nursing. He had techniques to help students to reduce anxiety, and as you know, in the health careers, they have to pass tests regularly at a very high level, and so when it's time for testing, their anxieties go way up. And John has been very, very helpful in getting them to relax and take the tests.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think he may even be a licensed hypnotist.
Well, that's what he uses.
Yes. Stephen Himmel, another short-timer here, 35 years of service, retiring from the Hawk Nation. Deborah Smith, 4 years of good service here, retiring at the end of January. And Mary Szymanski, 27 3/4 years. We count every quarter here at Henry Ford College. we should mark these in terms, I think. So those employees are worthy of our thanks for their service to our college. We have a couple appointments. I think one person may be here. Is Tracy Lee here? Miss Lee. Miss Lee has gladly joined our team, and I'm excited about that. She'll be a senior teller for student accounts, and she will be working in the Welcome Center.
Yes, sir.
And we're proud to have you here, and we hope that if there's anything we can do to make your transition more comfortable, please let myself know, or there's a bunch of vice presidents sitting right in front of you and next to you.
Congratulations.
So welcome, Mrs. Lee. Mr. Chairman, you may have read in the news over the last several months that water quality is an issue around our country, but certainly in our state. I frankly, this is one of the examples that I enjoy the benefit of a good relationship with Dr. Maleko, the superintendent. I talked with him. We both kind of batted around the ideas of how we're going to make sure our institutions are safe with water, and last week you heard some of the efforts that his team has undertaken here at the college. We also did some spot checking of some of our more old infrastructure for water testing, and we elected to use the athletics building, the H building, which is just here to your west. Now, foreshadowing, that is a building that we love, but It's one of the older buildings, isn't it, Ms. Taylor? And that's how we knew we wanted to check that one. I'm happy to report that the water quality test came back just fine. But when you see Ms. Taylor, she'll certainly tell you that she's ready for some new equipment there. But the water fountains are putting out great water there. A couple of, at least one update on requests that you all have made of the administration. Trustee Barry, you had asked for data on enrollment vis-a-vis other institutions in our area. I had initially told you that I could get back to you in October about that, and then last month I told you that I couldn't get back to you in October because of my misunderstanding about the reporting. My plan is to report back to you all at our December meeting. I will also make that information available to you as soon as I get it. It will be unofficial information by the time I report to you in December. And I think Dr. Gonko, is it April that I'll have formal data to share with you all. Finally, I've listed many things to all of you about where I'm going and the groups I'm trying to interact with, but the latest and greatest event that I took part in was in Lansing on Friday. I went to the Capitol and met with the Michigan the Michigan Community College Association President's meeting. I was happy to meet several of the presidents of other institutions where I learned more about what's going on there. Spoiler alert, enrollment is down, unfortunately, at many of our sister and brother institutions. But I continue to work to hopefully convince the legislators that we're worthy of an investment on a capital outlay. I've gone longer than I usually do, Mr. Chairman, so I think I'll stop at this point and take any questions that you all may have.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, sir. Next item.
Next item, special reports. Henry Ford College athletics update.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would like to ask Dr. Daniel Herbst to give a brief introduction. Now, you know, Dr. Herbst is, I think, the only person on the team that has a tenure about as short as mine.
A little bit longer now.
Dr. Herbst, is this your first time addressing the board?
Officially, yes.
Well, Dr. Herbst comes to us from Arizona, and he is the Vice President of Student Affairs. He's also the one that you saw me point at and say, you've got to come up with a plan to deal with the enrollment problem. He's not going to be presenting on this today, but it's my belief that a good team leader has the opportunity to introduce some of their stars, and I really do think that that's what Dr. Herbst has the opportunity to do today. So with that set up, Dr. Herbst.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chairman Mead, board members, I'm very happy to be here today to be able to introduce Rochelle Taylor as our athletic director. But before I do that, Ms. Jones was talking about the fact that she played the entire fall semester hitting from the men's tees. I had the opportunity to represent the college at a charity event, and I was hitting for the men's tee, and my team members all voted to have me move up to the seniors tee because I wasn't hitting off the men's tee very well, including Mr. Thorpe over there asking me to move forward. But the fact that you played the entire season off the men's tee is very commendable, so I do appreciate that. Rochelle Taylor has been athletic director here at Henry Ford College for the last 8 years. During that time, she's overseen 7 varsity teams as well as 1 club sport. Before that, her undergraduate time was at University of Texas, El Paso, where she was a track star in the 800-meter track event. Today, as we were meeting and just talk about operational planning, talking about the budget for the future, she says, we have a good problem coming up. And I said, what's that? She says, in the past, we never had to budget for our teams going on to regionals and to nationals. But in the future, we're going to have to start budgeting for that because our teams are improving and they're going to be going on to better things. And because of that, I'm very proud to introduce Ms. Rochelle Taylor.
Is that microphone on, Ms. Taylor?
Is this microphone on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is it?
Thank you, Dr. Hertz, President Cavaluna, Chair Mead, and members of the board. It's another great day to be a Hawk. We have completed our fall sports season, which consists of golf and volleyball, and I'm pleased to provide acknowledgments to the board on how our teams have done. Our golf team finished 5th in the MCCAA Eastern Conference. Congratulations to Matthew Kasiba. He was earned all freshman team honors. Our volleyball team earned a berth to the NJCAA Region 12 Volleyball Championship November 1st through 3rd in Port Huron. This was our first postseason tournament appearance since 2011, and we were defeated by Cuyahoga Community College in the first round. Postseason honors were received by the following Lady Hawks: Hannah Sullivan, second team All-Conference; Paige Brothers, second team All-Conference and All-Freshman team; Caitlin Pinkowski, first team All-Conference and NJCAA Region 12 All-Region team; Haley Dorn, first team All-Conference and All-Freshman team, All-MCCAA and NJCAA Region 12 All-Region team. Special congratulations to Haley Dorn, who is with us in the audience tonight. She was named MCCAA Eastern Conference Freshman of the Year. And congratulations to head coach Rosemary Matomedy, who was named MCCAA Eastern Conference Coach of the Year. President Cavaluna, the team is presenting you with the official NJCAA Region 12 Volleyball Championship T-shirt to sport on your runs around campus when the weather permits.
It'll be easy to see because I go pretty slow.
Okay, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, it fits.
Plenty big.
Maybe it's me.
Our winter sport teams are currently in season. Our sole club sport, roller hockey, is currently in third place in the Midwest Collegiate Roller Hockey League, behind Grand Valley State and Miami of Ohio. In the Community College Division, Hawks lead the national rankings in total points, total goals, and total assists. Our freshman goalie, Matt Callahan, is the only goalie in the nation in the Community College Division with a shutout on the season so far. Our varsity winter teams are wrestling, women's basketball, which is returning to our campus after a 2-year absence, and men's basketball. Our men's basketball team enters the season ranked number 22 in the NJCAA Division II men's basketball rankings. We hope to continue to climb the charts. I also would like to acknowledge the work being done to improve Building H, the Athletic Memorial Building. We are looking to create a great fan experience by getting new bleachers in our gym. I think when we met with the bleacher manufacturers, they indicated that they stopped making those particular bleachers in 1950.
We got the last one.
Yes, we got the last one. So, hopefully later in February or so, we hope to bring a proposal to the board for our new bleachers, and hope to host everyone in the Athletic Memorials building soon. Thank you for your attention. That completes my athletic announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Next item would have been a discussion item on policy updates, but this is going to be tabled to the next meeting, so I'll just continue. Action items. Citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda